Hello gamers, welcome to another edition of Magehammer's Musings, I guess. Um, this is something a little different than usual. So, I recently had the opportunity to run Delves and Dangers with a face-to-face group of friends of mine. With this group of friends, the ones that were there, we play Dungeon Dragons 5e mostly online twice a month. And over the holiday break, we had an opportunity to get together and play a face-to-face game. So I had suggested playing, of course, Delves and Dangers, my game, because that's the game I like to play the most, because I really love it. Anyway, so if you're interested in Delves and Dangers, I have various videos on my channel, many videos on my channel that you can go and check out see how the game's played, see if it's for you. But this would be the second time beyond playtesting that I ran Delves and Dangers campaign for friends face-to-face. And this time around, I was inspired by these Axebane's micro map packs. I have 3 of them. There's 4 of them to my knowledge. The one is Towns and Villages, which I have not bought, but I will eventually buy. The other is the Underground Caverns set, which most of you that have been paying attention to or been watching my Heroic Harefoots for Hire series will know that I use those to good effect, in my opinion, to tell my solo story that I was telling. There's also Dungeons, and then there is Tombs. So, focus mostly with lots of the sarcophagi and so forth. So I put together an adventure for my friends when I ran Delves and Dangers for them the other day. I think the session was a success. Everybody seemed to have a really good time, and that's what it's all about. But I came up with an idea for my gaming face-to-face that made me very happy, because I, of course, at this point in my life, having gamed now for 43 years in the RPG hobby, I have started to need my games and my sessions to be as minimalist as possible. There's a lot of brain space going on in my mind with all kinds of other things in my life that I have to keep track of. I also, when I sit down at the table to play, I want to be able to play. Many of you know I'm a very story-focused RPG player, so the story to me is king. The characters, of course, are a big part of that, but the system does matter to me. I need a system that lets the rules kind of fade into the background and let the story and characters come to the fore, and that's why I designed Delves and Dangers. It does exactly that for me. It's just minimalist enough to have some crunch to it, but also I designed the game I wanted to play, and thank goodness it plays really well. I have a really good time with it. Anyway, so I came upon these Dragon Shield spell codexes, and I thought they were really cool. I got this one here to keep my this is my OSR spell cards I bought for when I go play OSR with my friends, because a friend of mine's running OSR. Any OSE, sorry, OSE, Old School Essentials. Anyway, so I made spell cards, as you know, which are available up at the itch.io link below. They're part of the download for Delves and Dangers. So I wanted a spell book to keep my Delves and Dangers spell cards in, and so I found this one on Amazon, and I was like, that's really cool, so I bought it. And then I decided that I wanted to have one for OSE and one for Delves and Dangers. But then when I bought this one, I was like, and I got these micro map cards. I was like, and I had an idea. And that idea was, I take the rule books, this, dice, and some dry erase markers with me, and I run my entire session out of this codex. So what I did was, I put a little card here as far as the name of the adventure, and you have a giant problem, adventure for Delves and Dangers. And then I go a couple pages in, I typed up the background for the adventure that I put together, that I designed for them. Your village, Vadal's Reach, has been under siege for the past month by a half-dozen hill giants. Your militia and you have not been able to defeat them. They have left most of your village in ruins, and no help seems to be coming. An ancient dwarf, Theodatrius, remembers the tales of a dwarven hero, a giant slayer who wielded a magic warhammer called Thordor Smash the Giant Bane. That hero's name was Gardor Hammershield, and Thordor Smash was buried with him in his tomb. The village elder, Kandra Wood, asks you to travel to Gardor's tomb and find Thordor Smash. She sees it as the only way to save the village and its people. Thea remembers tales from her childhood about where the tomb lay, 3 days on foot from Vadal's Reach. Thea draws you a map, gives it to you, and you gather your equipment and depart for the tomb. On the 4th morning of your journey, you stand before a cave mouth with a dwarven arch leading to it, and according to the map Thea drew, the way into the mountain is say friend and enter. So, I put together a scenario as a one-shot. I didn't want to have the travel time. Making characters of Delves of Dangers literally takes 5 minutes, and I made them 3rd level, and I just read this to them, and they had their characters, and we got down to business. Now, so in this codex, of course, you can put cards in here. So I printed out some cards that have the monster stats from Delves and Dangers of the monsters that were in this first micro map, and of course I put in these little tags that said AA, and then I have the encounters and whether the door's unlocked right here, and then then I have it up in front of me like this, and it's basically I'm running it out of this. It's very convenient, and I have all the monster stats there that they're going to find on that level. And then of course once they move on to the next map piece, I have the same thing, monster cards and so forth. So, and then a list of all of them and what they're going to be doing there. Did that on I got these cool from Amazon. I got these cool post-it notes that have the dungeon grid on them. Then they moved on to the next one. Now there was a dread dwarf wizard that they had to fight against on this map that I came up with. I also kind of slightly randomly rolled for to stock the dungeon with my random tables for Delves and Dangers. Those are also able to be downloaded at the itch.io. But then if it did make sense, I kind of tweaked it a little bit. So of course, if they were undead rolled, I made them into dwarfs because this was a dwarf tomb, and these I in my mind decided that those dwarfs were put there to guard the treasure of him before, Anyway, so then I also put in the spell cards of the spells that wizard had on the page there. And then I also have these dry erase playing cards that I have. And this is how I tracked their hit points and so forth, during the battles. Or not hit points, stamina points during the battles, and made notes on that. And those would come in really handy. I use those for quite a few things. So I was able to carry pretty much everything for the session in this one spell codex. And then I just had to bring my books and my dice and my pen. And that was it. And that was a wonderful way to run a session. I think it went very smoothly. I had pretty much everything at my fingertips that I needed. Plus, Delves and Dangers, of course, being the system it is, there's very little for you to look up. And so I was literally able to run the session out of this book, and I really enjoyed doing that. And I think from now on, I'm pretty much going to build all my adventures that I do homebrew off of these map cards. It's practically infinite, and if I really wanted to, I could take the old-fashioned Axebane's deck of many dungeons, and I could just find cards in there that lead to the next and so forth and do exactly the same thing. I literally am going to have a infinite amount of dungeon adventures to write using Axebane's stuff. So I can't express how much Axebane's accessories have changed my solo gaming life. Anyway, so I just thought that was an interesting idea to share with you guys, especially if you're out there and you are able to game face to face. This might be a really cool way for you to do it. This thing was about 30 bucks, 25 bucks. Some are 25, some are 30. I guess it depends on, the ones you get. The cards, except for these map packs, are like, I don't know, $5-10 each. I can't remember exactly how much, but wasn't much at all. And then, this is a really high quality product put together. Eventually I'm going to put these monster cards up on itch.io. I'm just doing them as I go. So I'm thinking like I can make solo adventures in here and just have them out in front of me if I ever decide to do any kind of like a pre-generated dungeon to run for a solo campaign instead of just doing it just doing it randomly as I go. I mean, just all kinds of different ideas that could happen. And these are my Baron of Dice as have been featured on my channel multiple times. I really love these dice. They're really, really high quality and really roll well and just look great. Anyway, so I thought I would share that with you all and see if that's something you do. As another note, I run Theater of the Mind. So when I play at the table with my friends, and so another thing I take with me, I guess I forgot to mention, is I got these note cards that have the grids on them. And so if my players are having a hard time like visualizing the maps and the directions they have to go, I just draw them on these cards and I put it out in front of everybody. That's really come in handy as well. And that's just pop these into my gaming bag and off we go. And I only have to carry one gaming bag. So that helps with Theater of the Mind in some of the more difficult battle situations that the players may find themselves in, or complicated, I guess. Difficult is a different word, complicated. But I was gonna say, I got distracted by my note cards. I think, oh yeah. So I don't have to carry miniatures, I don't have to carry terrain, I don't have to carry battle map or anything like that with me. It's because I try to go as minimalist as possible. But I ran Theater of the Mind before 3.5, and then when 3.5 came out, I went with miniatures and so forth. I ran Savage Worlds, I ran it with miniatures, and it just got to be an extra chore that I did not want. I just wanted to get to the adventure and the story, and frankly, I feel I've had excellent experiences with Theater of the Mind. It's never really been an issue, and like I said, if I get those note cards, that helps things visualize for my audience. The reason I use miniatures and terrain and battle maps on screen is because it's a video, right? And I want my players to be, I want my viewers to be a lot more engaged with the images on there instead of just turning it into some kind of like audio podcast. So that was that. This is the new way I'm going to be running face-to-face games for my friends. And I just thought it'd be something cool to share with you guys, something a little bit different than usual from my usual channel fare. And after all, my channel is Magehammer's Game Table, so I try to bring as many different kind of gaming experiences to you that I find interesting and share them with you. So, well, thank you so much. If you have any comments or anything you'd like to have questions about, anything you see here, leave it in the comments below. And let me know how you run face-to-face games, if you do run face-to-face games. What kind of tips and tricks have you figured out to help streamline your gaming experiences? All right, well, that's it for this short little video. Thought I'd share that with you. So thank you for watching. And thank you all for watching my videos. Please go check out some of my Delves in Danger stuff, or any of the stuff out there. Castle Crusades. I have Castle Crusades videos, basic fantasy videos. Go check those out if that's something that you feel would be more interesting to you. But I guarantee, I think if you play Delves in Danger, I think you might like it. But I'm biased. All right, so once again, thank you so much. Until next time, keep on rolling dice and playing games. Magehammer out.